You're acting chair. So, reading of the adequate notice. In accordance with Chapter 231 PL 1975, the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required, specifying the time and location, with such notice is being sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Times of Trenton, posted on the municipal public notice meeting bulletin board, and filed with the township clerk. Thank you, Mr. Barthelmess. I'd like to invite everyone to stand for a flag salute, and after which we will stand for a moment of silence for those who have previously served and those who currently serve our country. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. All right. Roll call, but Greg, you're taking over a moment.
Yeah, before we do the roll call, just for the record, Mr. Barthelmess and Ms. Beckish have both been sworn in for their 4-year terms. Ms. Arpia is not here yet, and she'll be sworn.
No, she's right there.
Oh, hi. Okay, hold on, let me swear you in so you can vote.
See that? You came in very discreetly.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
Lisa Raphael,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and partially, it should be not even partially, and impartially
and impartially
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the zoning board member,
of the zoning board member,
alternate number 1,
alternate number 1,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're all sworn in now. Now you can do a roll call.
Mr. Mostyn.
Here.
Mr. Barthelmess.
Here.
Ms. Beckish.
Here.
Mr. Lambros.
Here.
Mr. Sinha.
Here.
Ms. Arpaia.
Here.
And for the record, Mr. Ferrara and Mr. Morelli are absent today. Mrs. Arpaia is going to be seated for Mr. Morelli.
Thank you.
All right, the first thing is I'll be temporary chair for about 30 more seconds. The first thing, we have election of officers. First one is for chairman for the zoning board of the Township of Millstone. Do we have any nominations for a chairman?
So I'll nominate Steve, outgoing and incoming Chairman Mostyn.
Is there a second for Mr. Mostyn?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Thank you,
Is there any other nominations? Seeing no other nominations, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Mr. Barthelmess.
Yes.
Ms. Beckish.
Yes.
Mr. Lambros.
Yes.
Mr. Sinha.
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia.
Yes.
And Mr. Mostyn.
Well, I guess I'll say yes, right? It'd be pretty funny if I said no.
Congratulations, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Your gavel's back, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, thank you. All right, election of officers for vice chairman. Well, I would like to nominate Mr. Barthelmess, if he's willing to continue his role as vice chair.
It's only been 20 years, why
Yeah,
not?
that's
Why not another one?
I was kind of hoping we'd switch, but that's all right. But anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Steve.
Any other discussions or any
Anybody else
motions?
want to be nominated? Discussions? Thank you, Steve. Appreciate your dedication to the board.
Thank you.
Roll call, yes?
Ms. Beckish.
Yes.
Mr. Lambros.
Yes.
Mr. Sinha.
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia.
Yes.
Chairman Mostyn.
Yes.
And Mr. Barthelmess.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, we're going to go into the resolutions of our reorg. First one up is our ZB 2024-01 for our board attorney. Professional legal services, Mr. Vella, attorney at law.
Collins, Vela, and, is it Casillo?
Casello, yes.
Casello, LLC.
Mr. Mostyn, if I may, Chairman Mostyn, we did get an opportunity to review the professional services that are for RFQ that were submitted, and they do seem in line with the previous years, and we did not have anybody else that wanted to work with us.
And I did also take a look at the information you put together, and in my opinion, everything seems to be acceptable. I didn't see any significant changes to make anything other than electing Greg back, so.
Is that a motion?
I'm making a motion. Anybody want to second the motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll vote. Mr. Barthelmess?
Yes.
Ms. Beckish?
Yes.
Mr. Lambros?
Yes.
Mr. Sinha?
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia?
Yes.
Chairman Mostyn?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, thank you again. It's always a pleasure representing the Zoning Board of Adjustment. I think, as Matt mentioned, it's almost about my 20th year here. Yeah, so we've been here a while. So it is, I do enjoy coming out here every month to work with a board that is very involved and read everything and is well aware of their town and protects the town from things that, you know, are not permitted. So I do appreciate the work and all the comments and all the work you put in to a job that you're not getting paid a lot for. So I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
All right, next up, we have Board Engineer for Professional Engineering Services, Mr. Matt Trafai of Leon Avakian. Just in case I couldn't, in case I don't remember after all these years.
Mr. Chairman, we did also get a chance to review the request for professional services that were received, and everything seemed to be in line and comparable to previous years, and Matt has done a stellar job with the boards of the previous years, and everything seems to be in line. And we had nobody else again that wanted to work with us.
Earlier, that was my rate.
I was just going to say, that's how you can get out.
Thank you very much.
You have an out.
So,
Anybody like to
and
make a motion?
I'll make the motion to nominate. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Eric.
Mr. Barthelmess?
Yes.
Ms. Beckish?
Yes.
Mr. Lambros?
Yes.
Mr. Sinha?
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia?
Yes.
Chairman Mostyn?
Yes.
Thank you very much. 20 years down, 20 years to go.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
That's enough.
All right, next up is our Board Planner for Professional Planning Services, Ms. McKinley Mertz, with Green Associate of Hire, Gruel and Associates. And I think similar, right?
Similar, yes. Again, the proposal seems to be in line with previous years. Everything seems to be in line with the proposal that was received. And again, nobody wanted to work with us.
Not a rep.
Nobody else wanted to work with us.
Double a rate.
Well, I'll make the nomination.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, Dan?
Mr. Barthelmess?
Yes.
Ms. Beckish?
Yes.
Mr. Mostyn?
Yes.
Mr. Sinha?
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia?
Yes.
And Chairman Mostyn?
Yes.
I won't tell you where I was 20 years ago, but the
Oh,
last
she didn't
6
say your
has been
name.
lovely.
That's not nice.
Oh, Mr. Lambros.
Oh, thank you, Steve.
Mr. Lambros.
Said yes.
Thank you, Mr. Lambros, and my apologies.
Okay, next up is our Professional Court Reporting Services. Court stenographer of the board is Angela Bonotono. Did I get it right on the first shot? I'm gonna call Mr. Novelino tonight.
Mitch won't even say it, so.
All right, same as other proposals, everything seems to be in line, consistent with previous years. Court reporter is a service that we do provide to, professional service provided to the board, and seems to be in line with our needs of the board. And again, Angela was the only one that wanted to work with us.
I will make the nomination.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mary.
And Mr. Barthelmess?
Yes.
Ms. Beckish?
Yes.
Mr. Lambros?
Yes.
Mr. Sinha?
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia?
Yes.
Chairman Mostyn?
Yes. Okay, board secretary. I don't know if we have much of a choice, right, Danielle? But we have one of the best board secretaries that we could ask for.
Yes.
That is true.
Yep.
And thank you for your dedication and keeping things organized.
And no one else applied to one.
And no one else applied to work with us. So I will make the nomination. If anybody wants a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Barthelmess?
Yes.
Ms. Beckish?
Yes.
Mr. Lambros?
Yes.
Mr. Sinha?
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia?
Yes.
Chairman Austin?
Yes,
And thank you all.
thank you again.
Thank you.
For all your work. I know it's late on that side too. I know it's a lot.
All right. Thank you, everyone. So now we got to into the meeting schedule for this year?
Newspaper first.
Newspaper first.
Number 6.
Oh, I skipped right over number 6. So for our official designated newspapers, we have Asbury Park Press and the Trenton Times, or the Times of Trenton. Anybody want to? I'll make the nomination. What the hell?
Mr. Austin?
Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Steve.
And those 2 newspapers are the ones that were appointed as the official newspapers of the town, so those were already preconceived by our committee, and those were why those were chosen.
Okay.
Mr. Barthelmess?
Yes.
Ms. Beckish?
Yes.
Mr. Lambros?
Yes.
Mr. Sinha?
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia?
Yes.
Chairman Austin?
Yes. All right, last but not least, at least for now, is our meeting schedule for 2024 and next January's 2025 reorg.
And Chairman Austin, you will note, and the board, you will note that the November and December meetings are not on our traditional meeting nights. Everybody should have a copy up there. It will be posted, a draft is on our website right now. I'll finalize it, should be in the office tonight. They're earlier and on a Thursday, so they're, I think it's the second Thursday of the month in accordance with our discussion from our last
Right.
meeting. So we don't have it on Thanksgiving Eve and don't have it on Christmas Day.
Right.
Much appreciated.
Do we need to officially read all the dates?
No.
Or are we good just with,
I'll have it colored.
thank you.
As printed.
Yeah. All right.
Any motions?
I'll make the motion to approve the dates. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Barthelmess?
Yes.
Ms. Beckish?
Yes.
Mr. Lambros?
Yes.
Mr. Sinha?
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia?
Yes.
And Chairman Austin?
Yes.
I believe that concludes our reorganization portion of the meeting.
We got to do approval of minutes that we had a couple minor changes to. But, did everybody get an opportunity to review that for the coastal
Yes, I did.
property that was?
Any comments or questions? Or the ones that were just handed out as comments?
Yeah, and I read through it and then I looked at the couple little quick red lines. I'm fine with it. I think it's good to go. Anybody want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Ms. Beckish?
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia?
Yes.
And Chairman Austin?
Yes. Okay. Now we go on number 2, where we gonna,
A resolution for coastal.
coastal quality. That I also read through. And again, some minor changes. I think they were all acceptable.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, that resolution came out by email at the end of November, early December, before December 5th date. The board has the resolution in front of them as well as email. There are certain changes that are outlined in red via track changes. Nothing are major substantive changes, but typographical and some omissions. So if there's no comments or questions, we need a motion and a second to memorialize the revised resolution.
I'll make the motion to memorialize it, the red lines. Anybody want a second?
And I'll second.
Thank you.
Arpaia?
Yes.
Ms. Beckish?
Yes.
Ms. Arpaia?
Yes.
Chairman Austin?
Yes.
Great.
Okay. Before we jump into our first application on the agenda. We just need to make a quick comment for 2 minutes. Mr. Gray?
Oh, yeah, so the second application, Greenleaf Pet Resort and Hotel, that was on for tonight. Is anyone here for that? Going once, going twice, no. That application will be carried to February, or next meeting, February 28th. The applicant forgot to notice. So that application will be renoticed and be before the board February 28th. Okay, Mr. Chairman, we'll go to our first and only application now. Okay. Mr. Chairman, for the record, Millstone Properties Company LLC, this is a continued application. As the board's late cancellation of the December 5th meeting, the applicant, we could not carry this to this meeting without further notice. So the applicant did notice to the adjoining property owners. I reviewed same, and they are in order. The board has jurisdiction to hear this matter. As we do in a normal course, since the last hearing, the applicant has submitted additional documents, which I'll read into the record as follows. It's a continuation from marking for the last hearing. A16 is the first new exhibit, which is sheet 4 of the use variance plan prepared by Crest Engineering, dated November 21st, 2023. A17 is a transmittal letter by Mr. Pape to the board for the revised plan sheet submission dated November 22nd, 2023. A18 is a transmittal letter from Mr. Pape to the board for the revised architectural plan resubmission dated 11/29/23. A19 is the architectural floor plan and elevations prepared by Perez and Radasti dated November 17, 2023. A20 is the architectural elevations prepared by Perez and Radasti dated November 27, 2023. A21 is jurisdictional notice dated January 24, 2024. A22 is Monmouth County Board of Health site suitability for septic system dated January 24, 2024. The board professionals did not provide new reports, so that last exhibit is still ZB4. So, Mr. Pape, we're continuing with this application. You may proceed.
Mr. Chairman, board members, board professionals, and public, good evening all. Kenneth Pape of the firm Heilbert Pape on behalf of your applicant. This is a continued public hearing. We began our presentation to you in October, and in October there was testimony presented by Peter Strong of Crest Engineering. There was testimony provided by Steve Radasti, the architect, John Ray, the traffic expert, Anthony Italiano, who is a member of the Millstone community and very much involved in youth recreation, also testified. During the presentation to the board, there were a number of questions that were raised, and there was a number of comments that were given to the applicant. The applicant took all those comments to heart. One of the questions that was raised was whether or not we had tested the soils in the front of the building, and we had not when we were in front of you in October. We have tested the soils. The soil logs have been delivered. They were just delivered today to the board secretary. And most important, the soil investigation was witnessed by Christopher Liberto, who is the Monmouth County Board of Health inspector. His letter confirming that he witnessed the soils and confirming that the soils are suitable for septic system is now part of the record. When Ms. Lorelei Totten testifies this evening, I'll ask her to just speak to those results. We also were asked to move the building back. The building was moved back, you'll see, 15 feet further into the property. And we were also asked to landscape the front of the building further than we had at the last meeting. So you'll see that although this remains a use variance application and site plan is where the full-blown landscape plan would be developed, you'll see that there is typical foundation plantings and plantings throughout the front yard. We also made some minor changes to the on-site circulation that resulted in increased capacity for staging of buses on the property. Steve Radasti was asked by a number of the board members to revisit the architectural treatment of the building. And I'll let Steve go through the elements of the architectural treatment that have been changed. They are numerous and throughout the building, and I believe that you'll find that the building has been made. It was an attractive building, we believe, and is now a more attractive building. Mr. Italiano has graciously returned. I had asked Mr. Italiano if he would assist us one more time in going through the standards of the National Soccer Organizations, which pretty much dictate that parents are not supposed to be inside the building. That's an important part of our presentation to you, and he's agreed to do so. And Christine Cofone is our professional planner who has the responsibility of identifying the basis for this board to grant the variance relief that we're requesting. I'll remind everyone that this is a use variance, as Mr. Vella extensively placed on the record at the beginning of the October meeting. It's a bifurcated application where the applicant would be bound by all the representations made at use variance, but would come back with a fully engineered site plan at a subsequent hearing. Representatives of your applicant are also with us. Ian Feibelman, who is the individual who testified he would be the on-site manager of the facility, is here, and Jeffrey Burchard, who is a principal of the property ownership, is also here. With your permission, Mr. Chair, I will ask that Lorelei Totten be sworn. She is here as the engineer from Crest in Peter Strong's stead. We'll share with you her credentials, and then she has a succinct presentation of the revisions. May we?
You may proceed.
Thank you.
All right.
Ms. Taunton, we can, once Greg swears you in, we can get the Cliff Note version.
Hi, Ms. Tom, please raise your right hand. You swear affirm the following testimony you're about to give is the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record, spelling your last name, please.
Lorelei Totten, T as in Tom, O-T-T-E, and Crest Engineering Associates, Inc., Millstone Township, New Jersey. And I graduated in 1977 from Lehigh University with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. I passed my PE test in 1983. It is still in good standing in the state of New Jersey. And I'm also a professional planner, but not testifying as so tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Taunton.
If you would be so kind as to have the record reflect that her credentials as a professional engineer are acceptable.
They are acceptable.
Very fine. So, Ms. Totten, if you could identify the plan from which you're testifying. I believe that Mr. Vella identified that plan as A16 sheet 4 of the plan set.
That is correct. This is A16. It was last revised on November 21st, 2023 in response to board comments. When you glance at it, you're not going to really be able to see the changes because the building moved back 15 feet, but I can tell you that the front of the building was about right here previously.
So if we could point out to the board the actual changes that are made
Yes.
on this plan.
So the changes, aside from moving the building back, extending the driveways a little, the parking lot moved back, the walkway over to the adjacent property moved back a little bit. We added landscape areas in the front, beds, as well as some more plantings. We added foundation plantings with a planting bed around that along the front of the building. We added a planting bed along the side of the building, and along the rear eastern side of the building, there was already some on the western side, as well as a planting bed and some more plantings along the eastern
Lorelei.
side of the proposed building. Should I repeat that?
I think we got it.
Okay, sorry. Is this on?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the revisions that we made to the plan in response to all of your comments. Additionally, as Mr. Pate stated, we conducted test pits in the front of the building. 2 days ago, Chris Liberto was there. The water table, which I think was the important item, was down at least 7 feet or more, which means that the bed will not be mounded, and the soils were of such capacity that a septic system could be installed there in accordance with Mr. Liberto's letter stating so.
And just so that it can be marked in, I have Mr. Liberto's letter and I have your soil logs, if I could submit them to
They're
Ms.
already exhibit A22, I think.
Oh, they're in? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And with the revisions that you've just described, moving the building back 15 feet, moving the parking lot back 15 feet, making the front yard 15 feet of more green area, is the integrity of the plan held, and I'll go through these points, is the circulation plan that was testified to previously intact?
Yes, it is intact.
And is the stormwater opportunities that are identified on the plan intact?
Yes, they are.
So the areas where you tested the soil for stormwater are still the areas where stormwater is proposed?
Yes.
And the landscaping that is shown, substantial landscaping, if you could clarify that it is demonstrative and that the final landscape plan would be performed in accordance with the Shade Tree Commission's recommendations and this board's approval if we progress to site plan.
Yes, it would be.
I have nothing further of Ms. Totten. The purpose of Ms. Totten's testimony was to identify those revisions that the board had requested that have now been made to the variance sketch, the site plan element of the variance sketch.
Can you explain, because I can't remember everything back in October, obviously people were concerned about it being close to the streets, we talked about going back. Can you discuss a little bit why 15 feet, why not 30 feet, where 15 feet come from?
I can tell you what Peter said at the time. You have environmentally constrained properties at the back, and we needed to preserve an opportunity to do the stormwater.
So it's all about the back?
Yeah.
The building was 80 feet off of the proposed property line. It is now 95 feet, and the setback is 75 feet, just for reference purposes.
Do you know, Lorelei, what the dimension is from the property line to the edge of curb? I know to center line is 40 feet, but do you have to edge of curb?
That's another 22 feet.
But is it 22?
Once they widen it, it's another 20 feet.
You want to know the building to the curb line?
Building to current curb, to the end of the curb, yeah, the edge of the curbway.
Proposed building to current curb line.
Okay. Hate getting old. 115 feet.
Okay. So they have the 95 feet to the property line right now, and then right now to the curb line until the county widens it, it's another 10 feet, 20 feet, is what he said, 20 feet.
25.
The total is 100.
She said 115 to the curb line, right? Yes, yeah.
Yes.
The existing building is about 60 feet from the curb line.
It's being pushed back.
Yes.
The old Clark's
Correct.
Park is
Yeah.
about 60 feet? The existing building
Pretty
is like
close.
60 to 65
That's a
feet
lot
from the
further back.
curb line. So this is going back another
50 feet.
50.
I think the existing building, this blank area around this one tree
Mhm.
comes up almost to the front of that blank area, roughly.
And I know the point was made at the last meeting that the front of the existing building is 100% asphalt. The front of this building is proposed to be, all the asphalt is removed. The only asphalt will be the driveways, and everything else will be landscaping.
Right now, there's a 200 feet wide driveway.
Right.
Yeah. That's what makes it very crazy.
The parking count hasn't changed, right? Everything just got
Correct.
shifted.
Correct. There's still, I believe it was 90 spaces.
Little over
and there's
90.
Still 90.
Does pushing it back the extra 15 feet add any additional space for the bus queuing?
You're going to take John Ray's testimony.
Okay.
He came in the fog. We want to ask him that question.
All right, I'll let him cover
Yeah,
that.
the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Mr.
I
Chair.
had a quick question with the proposed detention basin. I know last meeting we discussed it and they said it was movable, right?
Yeah.
It could go anywhere
Well,
potentially within that, as long as we're outside that wetlands buffer area.
Malleable, it could be shaped.
There you go.
It could
Okay,
be
thank you
shaped.
for that.
Yeah.
So, is it possible, or was it taken into consideration to maybe relocate that proposed detention or stormwater management area further back to kind of, again, push that building further back off the road? Because,
It's just, this is your wetlands.
yeah, I'm just saying, if you could, if that was malleable, right, and you could rotate a little bit and kind of tuck that further into the corner, would you be able to set the building further back on the lot? Because the concern is
Well-
the visibility, you know, from the street, right? Because the building's,
I think before Mr. Pape or the engineer answers, let's focus, be reminded, this is a bifurcated use variance application, okay? This is not full site plan, where it'd be fully engineered.
Right.
And if this was a site plan, it would still assume it was a permitted use. We could say, you gotta move it back, you have a lot more space there, right? We're here for bifurcated use variance, which is essentially saying that this use, which is not permitted in the zone, they're saying, hey, give me approval, okay, for this permitted use, and we're providing you pretty good detail of what we could do here, okay? It is not finalized. The conditions the board would impose relate to a use variance. Whether the applicant leaves here today saying when they come back for site plan that maybe they have to move it back farther, okay? We're here for and I don't want to get in the weeds of, especially if they haven't, and the problem becomes is, Ms. Totten, have you fully designed the stormwater system?
No.
Okay, so if we had a fully designed system, you'd be better able to answer the question.
Correct.
Okay, so
Yes.
I think the board is cognizant that, you know, even though you're moving back farther than it was, we do have a lot of area back there. Maybe it's being used appropriately, maybe everything could still be shifted back, but I want to get focused on what the applicant is looking for here, and they're gonna pretty clear that, you know, from a site plan aspect, they may need to do more. We want to focus in on the use that's not permitted in the zone.
I appreciate that explanation, and yes, it is a use variance which is not fully engineered. The drainage basin is malleable, and I know, working with Peter and with Lorelei, they did not want to run out of area for the drainage basin, so there is some cushion that was preserved so that they knew that it would work. But if this board were comfortable with the proposed use and provided direction that the building is to be moved back as far as it physically can with the drainage basin to be functional, that would be something that we'd find acceptable as part of a site plan criteria. But what Peter did is he made certain that he made a statement, I can design this, and he made certain that he left himself enough land that he could.
okay. Thank you.
So, when we're talking about the use, there was some testimony put on the record at the previous meeting about who's gonna use the building, what time of day it's gonna be used. I recall them testimony that they're going to allow leagues, and I thought, did they wanna operate until 1 o'clock in the morning?
No.
No.
10 o'clock at
10,
night?
10 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
7 a.m. to 10 a.m., I think?
7 a.m. during the 39 days of summer camp, 7 a.m. is the earliest that summer camp arrivals occur, 7 a.m. Summer camp concludes somewhere between 4:30 and 5. We indicated that previously we asked if we could have non-camp days starting at 9 a.m. and going to 10. We have since learned that there are still school bus traffic on the roadways at 9 a.m., so we would like to amend that to say there would be no start until 9:30 a.m. during the non-camp days, and 10 is the cutoff. We specifically do not want to have the type of activity that occurs the late hours. It's a different crowd.
7 days a week, right?
Yes, sir. 7 days a week.
So, how about the proximity to the firehouse? You know, this is gonna create a lot more traffic than what's down there now. So, and it'll be all hours of the day from, could be 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Is that gonna be a conflict with emergency ingress egress for our fire department?
That'd be Mr. Ray, right?
So, I would make two comments. The characteristics of the traffic and the volume of traffic that was associated historically with the Clarksburg Inn is far greater than what would be associated with this. But again, a condition that we would welcome is and we always do it, we meet with the fire officials and we go through the entire plan with them. We would agree that this plan is subject to their approval.
Yeah, I know that the Clarksburg had some traffic, but it was kind of like lunch hour, dinner hour type thing. This is going to be probably constant all day, maybe a lot more at nighttime.
And afternoon and evening, I agree with Mr. Lambrose, yeah.
So I have some other questions. Okay, that's okay. I know that the applicant approached the township committee like a year and a half ago to see if they would, to do a look-see on it and how they felt about it, and probably a request for a zoning change, but that didn't happen.
We did go through the planning board to come up with a zone. The zone was drafted, it went to the governing body, and the governing body elected not to do a carte blanche rezoning of this entire area, which left us to a site-specific request, one property instead of the entire region.
And if I could add to that, the concern was that they didn't know what could and would be built. There was concern that it would be something that would take over the entire property in terms of impervious coverage. So normally I would prefer doing a rezoning over a use variance, but I do think this application it gave the benefit to the board to be able to review the specifics. Again, we are doing just use, but they've provided a pretty detailed site plan. So I think they were trying to respond to some of the committee's and the public's concerns about the scale of what could happen here. So
There was concern, how big could that building be? And everybody kept saying Sportica, and we kept saying no, and they said, well, you haven't shown us anything.
Well, it's significantly smaller than Sport.
Yeah, it's 1/7. Yeah. But this plan that you're seeing is not what was presented to the governing body as they were considering a zone.
Right. And it might not even be presented to us if they get the use variance.
Correct.
It could be bigger, it could be smaller, it could be different than what we're looking at.
Well,
Our commitment is that's
hold
it.
on. Hold on. If you grant the use variance, okay?
That plan.
The plans need to be consistent with what you review. So it is not, how many square feet is the building?
Almost 22,000.
Just under
All right,
20,000.
22,000. And they come in and say, well, I have a use variance, here's my 50,000 square foot building. Well, that's not what the use variance was based on. It was based on these plans, and they're not fully drawn, but the board would have a different determination, I would expect, if it was 50, 60, 70,000. That's not what, it is just this type of use that's being permitted, consistent with the representations that they made before this board. So, yeah, smaller is always better, but anything substantial changes of big is maybe inconsistent with what you granted. So it's not going to be a shell game. Okay?
this is more than just a concept plan.
Right.
Oh, yeah, each and every representation that's made, number of parking stalls, school bus stacking, commitments for landscaping, commitments for lighting, commitments for stormwater, building size, all of that we're prepared to be bound by. We would anticipate that if there were a positive resolution, every one of those criteria would be the only thing that I think you'd be asking us to get that building deeper into the property.
And fully engineered.
And fully engineered. May we move to the next witness?
You may.
Thank you very much, Ms. Todd.
Thank
Mr.
you,
John
Mr.
Ray is our traffic engineer. His testimony is, his credentials are on the record. I remind Mr. Ray that he is under oath. When Mr. Ray testified previously, he significantly talked about the on-site parking and the adequacy of the on-site parking and the on-site circulation and the queuing capacity of the driveway system for buses. Neighbors had indicated that the neighborhood was being used for buses currently, and we wanted to demonstrate that there was an opportunity for every school bus to be on our property, so none are in our neighborhood. My questions of you, Mr. Ray, are, you had an opportunity to review the revised plans prepared by Crest Engineering?
Yes.
And are you comfortable advising the board that the integrity of the circulation remains the same as it was on the last plan?
The circulation patterns remain the same, yes.
And the capacity to queue buses on site, would you comment on whether that has been increased?
It's been increased by 15 feet by virtue of the building moving back 15 feet further into the property, and the driveway connections to Stagecoach Road also being elongated by 15 feet each. So it's if anything, it's a little bit better.
So the integrity is intact, the circulation is unchanged, and your testimony to this board that this functions safely remains your testimony.
Yes, it is.
And Mr. Chair, I have nothing further of Mr. Ray. Want to just make that clear that the change didn't change his opinion of the design. He is available to you for further questioning.
Mr. Ray, could you, apologies.
No, go.
Could you maybe address Mr. Lambros's comment potentially with the traffic impact with the near fire department? And could you address the comment, the potential condition about non-camp hours, delaying opening to not affect bus traffic for students?
Well, we did agree to not have the non-camp activities pushed back to start at 9:30 instead of 9 o'clock, in order to give an extra half an hour for the school bus traffic in the area to generally get off the roads, and that's on the record. We've agreed to do that. We are going to meet with the fire department to go over these plans with the fire department. As far as the amount of traffic that the proposal is going to generate, I testified at the last meeting, and I think it's very important to understand that this is in a commercial zone where there are other permitted uses that could generate more traffic than the proposal that's in front of the board now. That basically remains a fact. Commercial activity, and as everybody knows, the Clarksburg Inn used to be on the site. I mean, another busy restaurant could go on the site. And we did our traffic study. We did our traffic counts in June of 2023, after Memorial Day, but when schools were still open. We put an automatic traffic recorder across Stagecoach Road for a period of 7 to 10 days. I forget exactly how long it was. Analyzed all of the different traffic hours that are on Stagecoach Road. This will not have a significant impact on traffic conditions in the area. And again, like I said, the property is in a commercial zone. There are uses that would generate more traffic.
The firehouse is on Stagecoach Road. It's just a little bit below us, just off the map.
Right.
We certainly will review it with the fire officials. Do you have any concern that a driveway, as these driveways as proposed, are too close or would create any interference with the fire department's movements?
I do not, and I'm confident the fire department officials will agree with that.
We would agree to, that would be a condition.
So, you know, the traffic detail, did we go into trips and things
Yes,
like that?
yeah, we went through everything.
With the assistance of Mr. Italiano, we had identified that the maximum number of children that could be in the building would be 45 or less, and that classes are anywhere from 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So you,
And so that means probably 40 to 45 cars can come in and leave every hour.
yes.
But
During the
there
peak.
could be another 45 coming in while 45 are leaving, so that's 90.
That's what we
90
indicated.
vehicles every hour.
That was all what the traffic study was based on?
That's what we showed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's 90 vehicles every hour. That's,
45 in and 45 out, yes.
okay. It's a lot of vehicles.
Wasn't there testimony?
Not a lot
too-
of time.
Apologies. Just testimony too that the uses were staggered a little bit, so there wouldn't be, like, in terms of the timing for the programming?
There is
Am I remembering that
there's
correctly?
staggering that's built in, but Mr. Lambros is correct, that you'll have, there's the
Yeah.
potential for 45 children coming and 45 children leaving in an hour.
Okay, thank you.
So that's one every 2/3 of a minute.
About every 40 seconds.
every 40 seconds, a vehicle is
Right,
going.
and if I had a stopwatch with me right now, I would click it and we'd go through 40 seconds, we'd all be looking at each other, and it's a long time.
Oh, yeah,
There are
of
plenty-
course, when there's no traffic, but there's
Right.
other traffic on the road.
Right, but the traffic has been analyzed, the automatic traffic recorders placed on Stagecoach Road definitely show that there will be adequate gaps in that traffic. We have, even with the 45 cars entering and the 45 cars exiting, we have a B level of service. B is in boy, that's an excellent level of service for the site driveway. And it essentially means that the average motorist pulling out onto Stagecoach Road during a peak hour will wait, on average, somewhere between 10 and 15 seconds to get out onto Stagecoach Road.
So could you name the uses that are permitted that would create more traffic than
A restaurant?
one every 45 seconds?
I haven't gone through the entire list that's permitted in the neighborhood commercial zone, but generally speaking, any commercial zone that would permit retail, restaurant, things of that nature, certainly a convenience store,
I
or a
think if
small
the-
grocery store would generate a lot more traffic.
I think if the Clarksburg Inn was able to generate a vehicle going
It
in
would
and
still
out
be there.
every 45 seconds, it would still be there.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't believe that a restaurant in our town is going to create a vehicle every 45 seconds going in and out of there, you know.
Well, that's only during the peak hour for the
Even the peak
facility.
hour.
Okay.
I got one other quick question for Mr. Ray. I know, refresh maybe my memory, or maybe the board's memory. I know we briefly discussed it last time, potential need for additional traffic control, either during the summer months or during special events, with that increased traffic flow. Is that going to be a necessity?
In my opinion, it will not be a necessity, but if I'm not mistaken, I think our clients agreed at the last meeting that if anything like that was necessary, they would hire, I don't know if it would be an off-duty Millstone police officer, or, you know, they would hire somebody to take care of the traffic if that became a necessity. But quite frankly, given the traffic volumes and the flow on Stagecoach Road, and we're being very aggressive in assuming 45 cars coming in, 45 cars going out, some of these children that are going to be on the site are going to arrive 2, 3, maybe even 4 kids in a vehicle. There will be carpooling. I don't agree that it's going to be 45 cars in, 45 cars out during a peak hour. Probably going to be closer to 20 cars, 20 to 25 cars in, 20 to 25 out, with the carpooling that we think is going to happen. We all have kids. We've all taken them to gymnastics classes, to indoor soccer practice, things of that nature. Carpooling happens all the time.
But I think it's going to be even greater than 45, because grandma and grandpa are going to want to come and watch their
They
grandchildren.
can't watch.
Yeah, they're not
They cannot do that.
You're not allowed.
No grandmother and grandfathers allowed?
You were not allowed.
I'm not
to- yeah,
allowed.
yeah.
Nobody allows me anywhere anymore.
All of us grandparents are cringing.
Well, I know you said there's no parents allowed during practice, but what about games?
No.
There are none.
No.
I think the testimony was that it's just practice.
Oh,
Well,
it's just
There's the
practice.
potential of having one-on-one games of the local teams, but no
Right.
tournament.
But it's really almost like a practice between the two of them before they go off and do their traveling tournaments.
Well said.
It's
And,
not
and Mr. Italiano will go through what those regulations are again this evening.
like
Yeah,
a scrimmage.
and I know they indicated there would be no tournaments and no bleacher seating.
Right.
No seating.
Right, no
seating at
no
all.
seating at
No
all
seating
inside.
at all.
Correct.
There was extensive testimony about how the parents are distractions to the children and they will kick them out if they come in and stay.
Mr. Italiano has pointed out there's a national program that requires that,
Right.
that Millstones follow.
A quick question, I don't know if it's you or I. There is telephone boxes, there are utility poles and easements on your property. What's gonna happen to those?
I don't know about the easements, but since Stagecoach Road is a county road,
No,
if,
this is on
yeah.
your property.
Okay.
This is like 100 feet in.
Oh, in? That I can't answer.
And if you.
Maybe Laurel, I can look at that when our next
Survey,
witness
yeah, and
testifies.
there's a utility pole with a wire going out to the street, and it says there's a 15-foot easement on that line. That's what the survey shows. How is this gonna affect that?
All of those utilities are vestigial remnants that went with Clarksburg.
Again, there's generator there is boxes, Bell Atlantic easement, all sorts of stuff there.
Well,
I count cars, Matt, I can't help you.
I'm just saying, it may be conflicting with your driver, because what's happening is, I always see the trucks parked next to it. JCP&L, Verizon, all those trucks always parked right next to it, they're doing something there. I don't know if you take that driveway out of there, what's gonna happen to those? Where are they gonna park?
Where are they gonna park?
Yeah, they park there, they work on their,
The easements that are,
Utility.
affect the property.
always there.
Yeah, the easements that affect the property are easements that provide utility service to the property. And we have the ability to relocate them. As I-
again, it's on a survey.
Yeah,
The
no,
utility
I-
pole with a
I'm
wire.
not arguing.
And it says 15-foot easement on this,
Yes.
along the wire. I
On-
don't know where that easement is, so.
So
Those
you
are
can work on
easements
the
that bring
wire.
utilities into our client's property. We have the ability to relocate the easements.
Well, make sure you address that with your site plan. You
That's-
see it?
Yes, all of. Because I can't yell from the back, right?
Yes, you can.
All of those easements would be investigated and relocated as necessary, and some may no longer be necessary. I had a project not so long ago that had a gas line easement running up through it to service something on the other side that was no longer there, but we had to go through all the process to vacate that gas easement. So that would be something that would be tackled at the beginning of site plan approval.
I just always see the trucks parked right next to it, they're doing something in these boxes. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. So
Yeah, I would think if it's an electric easement, they're not gonna move it.
it's electric.
The building needs to be served by the same electric wire,
No,
electric that's
Oh,
already there.
Verizon's there, I've seen
And
it.
Verizon, it's on the same pole. I don't see them
But
being
when they,
moved.
when they are utilities that service the public, your comments are correct. When they're utilities that service the property, you have the ability to relocate them on site.
There's also a propane tank, I'm guessing that's gonna be gone. Thank you.
That's
Heads up, that's all.
just a remnant from the past,
It's gonna be fun dealing with those guys.
just a remnant from the past.
So you said there's 90 parking spots?
I think
93, if I'm not mistaken.
there's 93 in total.
And is the concept there, if you have 45 coming in and 45 going out, that the 45 may not go out because where the hell are they gonna go for the next half hour, so they stay there? Is that the idea, to have them all stay there? Or have enough?
We over-designed it to make sure that there would never be any issue with an overlap, if you will.
Right.
But as I've indicated, with the carpooling that we expect is going to happen, I don't really see us having the need for much more than, quite honestly, 50 to 60 parking spaces, even during an overlap.
And one of the things we talked about, and it's available if the board finds it valuable, is green banking all of the parking places that are in the last row. So that last row, we don't think we'll ever need them, but the idea of having double came from Mr. Ray as we were doing our design. So it could be, we could
No, I was gonna say,
engineer.
it's good to have that many spots, because when you go by Sportica, every
This is
parking
not
spot.
Sp- I
know
did
it's
the
not,
Sportica.
but
It's not
every
Sportica.
spot is full, because
I
parents
understand.
aren't gonna go all the way home, come all the way back, they're gonna stay there, because
Yeah.
it's an hour session,
Yeah,
or whatever
I-
we're talking about.
I don't,
So you need the spots, to be
Right.
honest with you.
we can build,
Clarksburg, yeah.
Yeah, you need, you need. to
we
figure out how
we
to
can
go.
build the
I'm
93
going for more.
spaces. It's just an option, something to consider. Because we don't really believe we're going to need those parking spaces, but we wanted to over-design it to give everybody a comfort level that this will work.
And we're not overflowing into the neighborhood.
No, from what?
And we would not ever overflow into the neighborhood.
Right.
People across the street don't want us in
Yeah,
there.
and apparently the buses, if I'm not mistaken, stage themselves on Mercy Mount Way under the current condition. That's all going to be done, over and done with. They're going to be on our site now, should it be approved.
Wasn't that site, the back, used as a overflow parking for events during the summer when there were corporate events and the like? I remember that being, 45 cars in and out in quick succession. That's when that really hit.
Historically, there was overflow parking in that area.
And that's not going to be used
No,
again?
it will not be overflow parking.
If this could be a rate of a car every 45 seconds for like 4 or 5 hours a day. From the afternoon into the evening.
We don't think that's going to happen because of the carpooling, but even if it did, That's what I analyzed in the traffic report, and we have a B level of service. Even if it did happen, it still works, but we don't think it's going to be that intense.
But even if we put 4 kids in a car and only increasing the 45 seconds by 4 times, it's not a lot.
Gonna be every
Worst
3
case scenario, we have a level of service B, which is an excellent level of service.
Can I ask you, just based on the question, to reiterate a little bit of your testimony? My notes, just tell me if I'm correct, my notes from last time said that you anticipate peak hours to be between 4 and 6 in the afternoon. Is that all year round, or was that for just the summertime?
It would essentially be all year round, because the peak hours on Stagecoach Road for the afternoon occur between 4 and 6. So what we assume is a worst-case scenario, one in which we generate our peak hour coincident with the peak hour on Stagecoach Road. It's a worst-case analysis. Will it really happen? Probably not, but we analyze that to make sure it's going to work.
And I would imagine those are the hours school is out, right? So that coincides a lot with the after-school programs?
During the school year, yes, and also during the summer, if I'm not mistaken, 4 to 6 would coincide with when the day camp discharges the traffic at the end of the afternoon. So it's been analyzed.
And then, Mr. Pate, if you could have one of your other witnesses maybe remind the board about what, especially during the school year, just to, because Mr. Lambros is concerned about like how many hours we're going to have this level of cars. So if we could have additional operational testimony about what's happening during some of those midday hours, so we can really get an understanding of whether or not we're going to have this kind of flow all day.
Well, that's a great point. During the school year, when the kids are in school, quite frankly, there's not going to be a lot of traffic going into and out of the facility during school hours during the school year, because the kids are going to be in school. It's going to be an after-school thing, weekends, but non-peak hours. But again, in order to look at a worst-case scenario, we analyzed it as if our peak hour coincided with the peak hour on Stagecoach Road.
So the times that it will be used, let's say from, I don't know, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m.
There will be times when it's used
So
between, yeah.
between 4:30 and 7:30 is when the traffic builds in the area, natural traffic builds in the area because people are coming home from work. So that'll be integrated into the other traffic that's going in and out of the site.
I want to try to answer that question.
The other thing that's confusing for me too is that, it's a site, it's a site that only permits the participants in the building. So there won't be any space for parents or grandparents or siblings or friends. It's just an unusual concept.
The concept of...
It's not unusual to me, as I've done a dozen of these traffic impact studies for indoor sports facilities. It's not unusual. I just want to try to answer your question a little bit better regarding the 4:30 to 7:30 traffic volumes. The peak hour, this is from the automatic traffic counts, does occur between 4 and 5 p.m. with a total of 510 average vehicles in 2 directions on Stagecoach Road. Just to give you an example of how that volume drops from 7 to 8, it's less than half. It's about half. It's 251
So it's 510
in 2 directions
in how much time?
in an hour, which makes this a very light to moderately traveled county road.
That's one every 11 seconds.
But there are gaps in the traffic flow. This is not a Disneyland ride where everything is on
Well, yeah,
a
but
conveyor
in
belt.
Millstone, they're not like bumper to bumper.
Okay.
No, the analysis demonstrates that the road has the capacity. The ultimate determination of the use of the road is by the county, and we've already gone and reviewed this with the county, and it would be subject to their final approval.
Did they give you any feedback? I'm sorry.
The county?
Yeah.
I don't think, we're not going to make a county application unless we get the use variance. At this juncture, it's an unnecessary
But we have
expense.
gone over it with them, and the circulation is something that is acceptable to Mr. Cardone.
Okay.
And I just want to, I know certain members of the board are a little bit nervous about the traffic impact. Stagecoach Road is a county road. If we're lucky enough to get the use variance, the county engineering department will review this in detail. I guarantee you that. and whatever we need to do to satisfy them that we will have safe and efficient access to and from the property, we will have to do it. And I only mentioned the fact before that based on the traffic volumes on Stagecoach Road being what I would classify as a light to moderate county road, I recently did a project in Ocean Township on West Park Avenue, if anybody knows where that is. It's got 14 to 15,000 cars a day, 3 times the traffic flow of Stagecoach Road. There's a development on West Park Avenue that has 550 residential homes, all on a single point of access to West Park Avenue. It works. And this is, I'm not saying we're going to be anything like that, but I want to put some context to the situation.
Right. There's no, I don't want to be adversarial, I just want to kind of
I
focus on
understand.
the facts.
I understand.
Right. So, and I just want to correct the record, at 520 cars an hour, it's one every 6 seconds. Not
I
every
didn't do the
11
math.
seconds. But if you, even if you wanted to widen this road to make it more appropriate to handle the traffic, I mean, all the properties are, they're occupied, you know, there's homes and buildings, and some of them are right up almost close to the roadway. I don't know.
Whatever the county needs us to do, we have to do. It's a county road. And we have to make a county application if we get the site plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you help, you say Class B, is that what you called it, Class B?
Level of service B.
Level of B.
Right.
Can you just go through, what is A, B, C, D?
Okay.
Just remind us, I'm trying to get a picture in my mind what a class.
Yeah, levels of service relate to the delay that motorists will experience exiting a driveway during the peak hour. Level of service A would be anything less than 10 seconds. Level of service B, I have the definitions in the report, I'm just doing this off memory. Level of service B is delay between 10 and 15 seconds. I believe C is between 15 and 25. D is between 25 and 40. E is between 40 and 50 for an unsignalized driveway connection. Once you get to level of service F, it's an average delay of 50 seconds per vehicle. At that point, if you have a level of service F condition that's projected for a driveway or an unsignalized intersection, you got to take a second step and you got to go out and actually do a gap study and measure the gaps on the road to make sure that there are adequate gaps to get the traffic out. That's not the case when you have a projected B level of service. But if you got to an F, that's what I would have to do. That would be the next step in the traffic analysis.
So with level B, if I'm in one of the other buildings or the community center or something, on average, I would have to wait 11 seconds to pull out into the road.
Between 10 and 15 seconds, and I can only tell you that having been out to the site during peak hours and having sat there and watched the traffic flow, I believe it's totally accurate. I do.
Well, right, today, without this building, we're probably a level A, nothing, right? I mean,
It's an A or a B. It's, you know, we didn't analyze it because there's nothing there now. We can't,
Exactly.
you know, if there's no traffic, there's no traffic. But I'm very confident, given the traffic volumes on Stagecoach Road, the background traffic growth rate that we applied to the project using the DOT's historical growth rate data for the area, this is not going to be an issue. I'm very, very confident about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr.
I have a question. I don't know if this applies to this, but I know the Mercy Mount, the street, they were concerned about the noise and the pollution. Is there any, I mean, if you're gonna have cars sitting in the parking lot, they're gonna idle.
Especially during the winter time.
Environmental, I'm just wondering if there's any environmental thing that's been done to determine, because right now, there's no cars at all, or when the Clarksburg Inn was there, people weren't idling, they were parked.
Yeah, I don't, if it's the board's direction and we post signs that says no idling, we're comfortable doing it. We don't anticipate idling. We anticipate people dropping their children and coming back an hour, hour and a half later. This is going to be a facility that is designed to provide services to this community. We don't anticipate having people coming, but if, much like Wawa and others have prohibitions, and there's an ordinance that supports it that says no idling, we can. As far as I think that the placement of the building between the parking lot and the street is probably the most effective way of controlling the sound that's going to leave the site.
And again, I know I testified to this at the last meeting because the issue of Sportica did come up. Sportica is 177,000 square feet, that building. It's a regional situation. I've been in the parking lot there, and I've seen license plates in Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware. It's a regional situation. I think we had our expert on the township testify at the last meeting. This is going to be a much smaller, about 1/9 the size of, 1/8 to 1/9 the size of Sportica. It's going to be more of a much more local facility. And I can tell you that the other indoor recreation buildings I've done for this size building, that's what I've found it to be the case. One in Aberdeen, one in South Plainfield, about the same size. It was all catering to the local community.
With your permission, we'll ask Mr. Ray to stay with us, and we'll go to Mr. Radasti's presentation.
I concur. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Radasti, you didn't testify at the last hearing, did you?
Yes.
Yes,
I
you
did.
You did, okay.
Yeah.
Please advise you're still under oath.
So his credentials are part of the record, and his expertise is part of the record. And what I'll ask Mr. Radasti is if you could identify the direction that you received during the October meeting and how you have modified your building design to be consistent with that direction.
Certainly. So at the last meeting, the board had some very good comments about the aesthetic design of the building. I took a look at the comments and thought about how to further improve the design of the building. Since then, I revised and resubmitted the elevation designs, and one of the comments is to possibly upgrade the east elevation facing Stagecoach Road, so this elevation is, would be as attractive and prominent as the west elevation. I achieved this by making various design changes to the east elevation. So I'd like to use sheet SK2 dated 11/27/23.
I think that is A20.
A20. So I removed the small gable window and added a larger arched focal window of the same size as the arch window on the west elevation. Right in the center. I added additional paneled trim at the central cedar shake area, similar to the treatment also on the west elevation. I brought the brick up higher around the doors in order to draw more attention to the central part of the elevation. I also bumped out the rake boards with fly rafters to be more in line with the detail of the other elevation. I made the standing seam roof, metal roof over the doors larger from the original design to make that area more prominent. In addition to the changes to the east elevation, I made several other upgrades to all the building elevations. So I changed the dormer sizes and spacing to better match the scale of the building. I'm much happier with the look now. I decreased the spacing of the vertical trim in order to visually break up the facade into smaller areas. And I revised the white panels near the top of the walls, below the eaves, to be larger and better proportioned than in the previous design. I also added decorative corner panels at all the corners of the building in order to provide interesting details that are more fitting with the size of the building.
If you could do that just again, and this time if you could point out each of those elements on your plan.
Sure. So in the central portion of the east elevation, we added, there was a small square window here. Now we have an arched window that matches the other elevation. We added decorative, larger trim details, flanking this area to make more prominence so it also matches the other elevation. We added corner moldings. We also enlarged the standing seam metal roof, and we brought up the brick around the entranceway. We also made these panels larger than they were in the previous design, and we changed the spacing of these vertical lines. These are paneling. We also added these large corner pieces to give a little more weight to the corner of the building. And in addition to that, we changed the dormer size and spacing. And I think I think it worked out with better proportions before, and I'm very happy with it.
Danielle, could you pull up A12 so the board can see what was previously proposed and compare it to the current ones? Because I do think they made some good changes, but it's really evident when you see the original proposal. Thanks.
So from there, you could right away see the difference in the dormers. You can see the difference in the spacing of the vertical lines. The panels on the top were smaller, now they're larger. Also, we added more detail, trim, and architectural interest along the east elevation, the central portion, so that it looked more like the front entrance did on the west elevation, since this is visible from the street.
Looks a lot better.
Those revisions were intended to be responsive to the collective comments of board members. Mr. Radasti's direct testimony is complete this evening. If there's any questions of him, he's available.
I'm just looking over my notes from the last time to see if there was anything. And Mr. Radowski, it does look a lot better with the improvements.
Thank you.
I'm just still trying to grasp the overall size and magnitude of the building, how's that's gonna appear on the lot, you know, even though it was set back a little bit further from the road.
Right, it's set back pretty far from the road. There will be landscaping. The building, part of the intent of the building is it matches some of the other neighboring buildings. Specifically, the municipal building across the street, the firehouse, we have little elements of all those other buildings so that it kind of feels like it's part of the community, instead of something that's completely foreign to the
How big is it compared to the firehouse and the municipal building? I just can't visualize it, and that's just me.
This building is 100 by 200 feet, so you're seeing the long length here, 200 feet.
So how big is the municipal building?
What about the height? I think that might
It's
be
what,
better.
still 35
The height
feet?
is 35 feet to the peak of the roof. The municipal building has a gable roof and probably has a peak similar in size, but I have to admit I didn't measure that building.
So you're saying it won't stand out like it doesn't belong there?
Well, I intended that it fits in, and that was the reason for all these architectural details. We are setting it back from the road.
Okay.
I'm hoping people feel that it's aesthetically pleasing building.
Right, I know, she's asking if
The size.
to draw a comparison
Yeah.
to what's there. Let's say the community center or the firehouse or even the municipal building that's across the street. And then how many there's 93 parking spots here. How many parking spots are in the municipal complex, the municipal
I
building?
think that's more of a Lorelei question than Mr. Radowski.
Right. And I believe Lorelei's looking at the site plan to see the size of the other buildings.
I need a spatial.
That's what.
Just trying to
Since I don't have
draw
that
a
information
picture
in
of the
front of me.
scope.
Yeah, I need a spatial print, not visual.
I'm guessing
It's big.
10,000.
Thank you.
It's big.
And I agree with you, I think what's the height of the adjacent firehouse, for example, of that building, compared,
Right.
and like, even if you're going down Stagecoach Road, the utility poles that are out there, driving by there the other day, I don't know if they were 35 feet or 50 feet, so what's gonna be the height of that building compared to the existing utility pole? Again, we have a 200-foot wide building. What is that gonna look like as you're coming down Stagecoach Road?
I don't have the heights of this other building, the sizes with me.
We could sort of extrapolate
Were you
the
able to-
building dimensions, but not height of the area.
I'm just kind of thinking, you have a municipal building that's older, and I'm just wondering if we have this nice, it'll make the rest of the buildings look so, but
I don't know what exhibit this is.
we don't have a center of town, and that's kind
The municipal building, you're talking about the one across the street, correct?
Mhm.
That is approximately, as best I can tell from the aerial, 140 feet wide. and about 75 or so feet deep. So,
So
but
is
you're
that-
looking at the narrow
So is
side.
that smaller?
That's the building? You're
The
talking-
building, yes.
The building is 140 feet wide
Long.
by 70 feet wide?
About.
The frontage
Yeah.
is somewhere between 60 and 70 feet. I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So about 8, 9, maybe 10,000 at the most.
But you're looking at the
So this is
narrow
double
end.
the size. What about the height of the municipal building? It's one floor, right?
Well, yeah, but it goes down, it's got an elevation.
It's got a little sub-basement.
Yeah.
Basement, so.
Yeah, for-
1.5 times.
It's like 1.5 stories,
Full
yeah.
basement.
20, 25 feet.
We step 4 or 5
Right.
step to the floor, so.
Yeah, you can see from the aerial that it's, what kind of roof is that, a hip roof? or
Yeah,
it's
that's a
forced?
hip roof where it comes
Yeah.
to almost to a point.
How about the
Right.
firehouse?
That's fair comparison.
150 feet. The existing facility that's over there, that's in the site now, is about 180, maybe a little bit more. Maybe that's close to 200.
And
What-
Lorelei,
what
when
is
you're getting
that?
these dimensions, this is the frontage, like the width when you look at it.
Now,
Yeah.
yes, I just spoke of so the existing building that's on the site is around 200, it's a little under 200 feet in length.
Right.
And the firehouse looks like it's about 150 or so.
How about- I know you can't measure elevation on that map, but what do
No.
you think the height of the firehouse is?
I think it has a second story, doesn't it?
It has a full second story.
Yes.
Well, they need at least 20-foot tall doors, I think, right?
And
So
then
if you-
there are quarters above.
Yeah,
So it's at least
so you can kind of.
So this is
35, 40 feet
this is-
high.
The proposed building is 35 feet.
At the peak, yes.
Correct.
That's taller than the warehouses that we allow, right?
No, well, 35.
Probably the same height.
Yeah,
35 is,
commercial
yes, but
permitted.
Yeah,
it's
it-
permitted height in the
Yeah.
zone.
It's,
It is taller than the warehouses in the VP after this ordinance was changed, but.
it's the
NC
same
still
height
allows-
that's permitted in the residential zones around us, and it's the height that's permitted in the NC zone.
And the reason for that here versus the warehouses is warehouses have flat roofs. But for the commercial zones, the township committee wanted to encourage the pitched gable or hip roofs for that architectural style. That is, I was not here when they made that choice, but I'm assuming that's why it's 35 feet. It allows for a nice pitch.
So it's almost 2 times as far back as the closest part of the existing facility. Not quite. It is 115 or something feet. Compared to 60-ish.
The current building is 60?
About
Yeah, plus or minus.
60-ish, yes. And the current building obviously has no landscaping in front of it.
If there are further questions,
Move on to the next.
with your permission.
Yes, that would be ideal.
Okay. Mr. Italiano,
Why
could you
don't we
join
look at
us? Could you join us?
Mr. Pape, after Mr. Italiano comes up, then we recommend maybe take a quick 10-minute break before the planner comes up.
Sounds fine. We've also got to recall Ian to do some of that operations
Okay.
testimony, then we'll go to, that's fine. So Mr. Italiano was sworn when he was here the last time. I think it'd be worth reminding the board of your involvement in the youth recreation, just so they know your perspective.
Sure. I'm on the rec commission here in town, so I try and service all the rec programs in town. Happy to serve there, and I've been involved in soccer, specifically in town, the soccer programs from recreation through travel for about 17 years, 18 years maybe, something like that. Kind of got sucked into that right when I moved here at a barbecue, but anyway. So yeah, that my passion is soccer, but first, but obviously through service on the Rec Commission. It's expanded to all the other programs that we have here for our youth and adults.
When we were
well.
together the last time, you talked about the benefits of a building like this for that community. I'm going to ask that you summarize that, but there's a very specific question you had brought to everyone's attention and had previously brought to our attention, that these types of buildings do not make provisions for the parents or any family members to be inside during practice or training sessions. Could you go over that with?
Yeah, it's in Millstone, in our soccer program specifically, we follow U.S. Youth Soccer's guidelines, and we're very proud of the fact that we do follow those. Not a lot of other communities do. And one of those guidelines are drop your kid off and leave. It's that simple, because when a parent is there, it usually has a negative impact on what we call the performance environment. And as you probably are aware, there are more kids dropping out of sport, probably the worst ages to drop out of sport, around teenage years, when they could really get in trouble doing other things. And a lot of that is because of parents and also bad coaches, but a lot of it's because of parents. So USU Soccer came out with this directive after a lot of analysis, and we follow that here, where I run practices at Brandywine facility. Drop your kid off. If you have to talk to me, we'll do it afterwards, or call me on the phone, shoot an email, we'll set some time. Drop your kid off and hit the road, or you can sit in your car. A lot of people just go get coffee or do whatever they need to do. But again, having parents there negatively impacts the performance environment. So that's why we do not permit it.
And we had stipulated that we would accept that as the policy and make it part of the policy of the operation of this building. And if you eloquently described the benefits of this type of a facility for Millstone youth, you pointed out that the difference between communities that have such a facility and communities that don't. If you could just take us through that briefly.
Yeah, a lot of the surrounding communities for their recreation programs and specifically soccer programs have alternate fields and alternate buildings and parks to use. While we're very proud of the parks that we have here in Millstone, we have a lot of grass in Millstone. We all like that. We have nothing protected. We have no turf. We lose tons of kids to other towns because we don't have turf, which that's not going in anytime soon. And we don't have any indoor facilities at all. We do, fortunately, get to work with the Board of Ed, and we do use some gym time when we could get it. And a lot of programs do that, but we don't, that's the big thing that we're missing is turf and something indoor, not only for soccer programs, but other programs as well. And again, we're losing a lot of those players and parents to other communities.
You're familiar with the building that we're presenting to the board for their consideration. Is this bill, do you have an opinion as to whether this building would address that concern? Or that
Yeah, absolutely. Based on what was shared with me, I'm not an engineer. I don't want to. I'm just a dumb finance guy. But yeah, from what I was told, it's going to have a turf surface. It will have lines on that turf surface that will certainly facilitate soccer and other sports as well, and I'll have the necessary equipment in there for those programs.
Thank you for your testimony. I have no further examination of Mr. Italiano. He is available to all.
I have just one other quick question for you,
Sure.
Mr. Italiano. As far as height for soccer, I know they're kicking the ball, you don't want it to hit the rafters or the ceiling.
Yeah.
So what is the minimum height requirement for kids? You know, we don't have professional.
We don't have Messi out there doing
Yeah.
bicycle kicks.
So-
Yeah. Even though some people think they are, but anyway. I don't know what the minimum height is, because usually, you know, when you're playing outdoors, you know, they could sky the ball. I'll tell you, my team plays in a league in Robbinsville. Bob Smith, it's a bubble. I'm sure you guys probably have driven by it before. So we play there every Sunday. And if a ball hits the the roof or hits anything there, it's considered out. It's like kicking it out of bounds, same thing. So, and there you have all ages competing, and he's been doing it for years. So I don't view the height as a problem here, and considering that this is really going to be a training facility, it's not a game facility. I think there was some confusion there. Games could be a scrimmage between, I scrimmage with my own team. You wear blue, you wear red, go play, right? It's not a facility for games. It frankly isn't big enough for full matches. It just wouldn't be appropriate for that.
Okay, so out of curiosity, approximately, say when you're playing over in the dome, what's the height from field level up to the peak of the dome?
Man, I mean, it's definitely more than 35 feet, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably 60, 70 feet easily.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you have kids kicking soccer balls to hit the roof of that?
Not the little ones.
No. Teenagers?
Like high school, like 17, 18-year-olds, occasionally, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not often, but
I don't
yeah.
assume 4-year-olds are doing that, so.
Find me a 4-year-old do it. We're gonna find, yeah.
Well, I think when you get the older kids, just in my opinion, it's, hey, let me see if I can hit the ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I had a kid, brought him, I did a training session at the elementary school, and the first thing and they were like 9, I told them all, no trying to kick the ball into the baskets, right? And then, of course, they start doing that, and somebody hits a light, and, then I just removed that child, and we took care of it, but, I mean, I can't say it's not going to happen, but it's rare. Even my son plays in that Bob Smith League. He's 17. He plays with all the former varsity, the graduating seniors from the Allentown varsity team. And I've been to a couple of the games, and I haven't seen anybody hit the roof yet. I've seen them hit the walls and, certainly hit each other, but nobody hitting the roof quite yet.
Thank you.
And I just have if you can just go over the days and times, because, I keep hearing the 39 days. Is
That's camp.
That's camp. So that's just the camp, and 39 days, that's the 9 or 9:30 to 10 p.m.
No, the 39
that's the
days is
7.
camp, and those buses come at 7
7.
in the morning,
Camp,
and they're
7
finished
buses.
late afternoon.
And it finishes late
Late
afternoon,
afternoon.
so we'll say 6. Okay,
And-
but then what happens the rest of the year around? What's going on?
So again, I could speak for soccer and some of the other programs, just since I'm on the commission, I kind of have a pretty good idea of their schedules. Most training sessions don't happen until about 5 o'clock. Because, let's face it, whether your kid is coming from a school within Millstone or coming from Allentown, they don't get home till about 4 anyway, the earliest. And and a lot of coaches I don't get paid for any of this stuff, so I have a full-time career. So the earliest training sessions usually start as around 5:30, and they usually, we're bound by light. Here we would end by 10 o'clock. So I would see Mondays are usually nobody uses it because you're playing a lot of matches on a Sunday, so you have off on Monday. The heavy days are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I would say 5 to 10 o'clock, with really the peak being more like the 5:30, 6 o'clock to that 10 o'clock time for an indoor facility with lights and things like that.
Okay. And
Is
then
that-
weekends?
It depends the time of year. In the winter, I could see a Saturday, but you're not going to keep, let's face it, you keep kids there Saturday night till 10 o'clock at night, the parents aren't going to be too happy with you, so usually those sessions are usually done by about 7 or 8 o'clock. Sundays are usually game days for a lot of the activity, so that I wouldn't see this being used for that at all. Well, it couldn't be.
Okay. So
Hopefully that helps.
So the use variance, would that just be for soccer, and that's it? Because we lock it in that way?
No,
Right?
absolutely not. The use variance is for the indoor facility. That's not permitted in the zone. They could have baseball, they could have lacrosse, they could have field hockey, any type of sporting event that you could think of, football.
Could they
Any type of, it's a practice facility. You know, they've already said there's no tournaments, no games, no seating. So it'd be a practice facility for, you name the sport other than highlight that you could put in there.
I've been to Sportica for birthday parties.
No.
Okay, like, so that's more or less
No.
what my question is what else in addition to?
There's no food, there's no parties, there's no, none of the activities that Sportica is involved in. This is a training facility. This is a practice facility.
And those other programs that you kindly mentioned, like lacrosse, football, whether it's tackle or flag, you know, I'm on the field with those guys at Millstone Park, and everybody's in the same boat. You're double duty. You have your career, you rush home, and you get on the field to start a training session with your team. So, you know, the height for pretty much everybody is around 5:30, 6 o'clock start time.
Yeah. The testimony of Mr. Feibelman at the last meeting was we envisioned soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, baseball training, flag football, speed and agility training, and ultimate frisbee, all as training, for training elements, practice and training.
Right, but we can't, I don't think we can sit here and today grant a variance and say, these are the only sports that you can play in that facility. Things are gonna develop over time. New sports, new athletics, new things to do in there.
Yeah, we can't, it's not even practical to limit the uses from sport, you know, who heard of pickleball 5 years ago, right? But, you know, what the applicant has at least testified to is what we can do is limit the non-athletic uses, the no birthday parties, the no games, no weddings, we talked about it the last time.
No corporate events.
You know, corporate events. Those items that are outside a field where people run around and do stuff. And I think that's what you can limit. What goes on inside, whether it's any type of sports, whether it's now or in the future, it is what they could do that, but they just can't have the guests there, like, watching, you know, the idea.
It's kind of like the reverse of an ordinance. You have to define the things that can't be done there.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not sure, while soccer goes by the AU no kid thing, right, no parent thing, that doesn't mean Greg Vell's Flag Football League that rents the place can't have their parents there. Now, you could look at the exhibit, okay, there is no seating for it, which is prohibited. They could just stand and watch. You have big enough space.
They'd be on the field. The field goes to the wall.
Right. You know, but it's depending how much you rent, okay? They're not, the AU soccer says no parents come to the practice. I don't know if that's the baseball league has the same rules, the field hockey, whatever. So what you're able to limit, there's no seating there for them. So they're gonna stand and watch their kid practice, which is not uncommon any place, you know, and how that affects parking or, you know, now people are actually standing in there for the hour watching their kids practice. What I'm asking the board to really just focus on is that you have this proposed use that's not permitted in the zone. It is solely related to a practice facility that they're agreeing to limit the use from all the other activities that you find at Sportica. Since you know, I know we said it 1,000 times. Every time I say it, I know Mr. Pape rolls his eyes, right? Because he says it's not Sportica. But when you go to those other places, all you think about is the birthday parties, the league tournaments, all those items which is not this building. At least they're saying it's not this building, and you have the power as a board to say, yeah, you can have this type of use, which is solely a practice facility, but you can't have all these other things that really have a substantial negative impact to the zone, to everything else. That's that's their presentation, and you know, that's what they're saying. Hey, we are not them. That's why we should get a use variance. But that's their burden to prove to you that you're okay with a unique thing.
They're a mini now. It's a mini-me.
all set?
Yeah,
Any questions
so,
for Mr.
well,
Italiano?
Mr. Italiano, can you name the other the facility, the nearby facilities that children from Millstone and surrounding areas go to practice and compete?
Sportica, obviously, is one of them. Jackson, we lose quite a few kids there because they have lit fields, turf fields, multiple grass fields. Manalapan, they're Manalapan
Is our
Rex.
goal to try to keep the children in
We
our
want to
town?
keep our community together, right? We want to keep our community together on many different levels, which we're not going to get into tonight, but from a recreation perspective, we're losing kids to those areas because our facilities are just not good enough. It's that. Millstone Park, great idea, horrible execution. Horrible. It's the grass is the worst grass you could ever use. It's horrible. But it's what we have, so we try our best there, but that's where we're losing to. Manalapan, Freehold, Jackson, Robbinsville, the Windsors now too, and even Princeton. They're going out that far.
But it does sound to me, even though, we're losing kids there, right? It sounds to me like the need is satisfied. It's just not satisfied in Millstone.
Right.
The town of Millstone is not satisfying, but the children's needs are satisfied in other areas.
In other areas, sure. But
So what happens when somebody from Manalapan or Robbinsville or or Homedale or Colts Neck or Marlboro drives their child to our facility in Millstone because they're part of a travel team that has practice in Millstone?
they would have to be on a Millstone travel team.
Yeah, but my children were on Millstone travel teams too, and
Yeah.
there were children from out of
I
the
have
town on their teams.
I have kids from Freehold on my travel team.
Right, so
Yeah.
if somebody comes from Freehold to our facility and drops their child off, they're probably not gonna drive all the way back to Freehold and then come back. So they're gonna need a place to stay. They're gonna probably stay in the parking lot if they're not permitted in the building.
Yeah, I can't intelligently say exactly what they're going to do. I could tell you my experience with my parents that drop their players off to my training sessions. They go shopping and do whatever. They drop them at Brandywine or Millstone Park, or if we're at the elementary school, and they go. And what they do with their time, I just tell them, make sure you're back here at X time.
Mm-hmm.
I have their phone numbers if there's an emergency, right? We have documentation that empowers me to make certain critical decisions if it's a real emergency and they're not there. So we're covered from that perspective. But I can't really intelligently say, I don't want to lead you down a primrose
the
path.
policy of no parents permitted, is that like your
That's
thing?
a soccer, that's a
Or is that
U.S.
like universal?
That's
So
U.S.
all-
youth soccer. And in Millstone, we follow U.S. youth soccer. I could tell you other towns don't. And those are the towns where you read about fights on the field, all kinds of stuff. We're so lucky that we don't have that here. But that's because we work really hard to make sure that that doesn't happen by being more proactive rather than reactive.
Mr. Papen, maybe when we're done with this particular set of testimony, Mr. Feebleman could, because I think there's concern beyond the soccer. We know that soccer is, as Greg said, they're not going to have parents, but there's other uses in other different sports that are going to. Is there no spectator rule across the board for anybody who leases space?
I made the statement, but in the statement is that this program would be implemented for all practice, but let's have Ian as the management make that statement.
Maybe we don't. I'll defer to the board if you want to hear from management. But you guys are saying you're part of, if the board were to approve it, there would be anybody who leases it in their lease would be a no spectator clause, basically, that nobody can stay during practices who is not actively practicing.
Yes.
I'll defer to the board if you guys want to hear from the manager again. That was just something I wanted to make sure.
One other question is, how many players do you have? How many are involved in your travel soccer? In Millstone.
In Millstone, the total club is right now, call it about 170 160, 170 total players for travel. Recreation players, another double that. Recreation programs would not necessarily be, they don't train all year round. So I can't see a lot of use on
Like
the.
school rec programs?
No, like recreation level.
Okay.
Yeah, not like middle school teams or
Okay.
something like that, no.
Mr. Italiano, I have from last time that you said for your particular programs, you would have 35 to 40 athletes
Yeah,
at
for
any
my.
given time, for
Yeah.
your programs.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So if you have 2 or 3 teams practicing in the facility at the same time, that would be the max amount of kids that you could.
Maximum
Yeah.
35 to 40.
But total club, I believe that's
And
what
that's
you
what I
were
was asking, total club?
Yeah, total club.
How many members would you be thinking are showing up for?
Yeah, I mean, if we divide this facility into 3 fields, I could see 30 to 35 max.
Yeah.
You know, practicing if we divide it into thirds.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to find the niche that this is an important aspect for Millstone because of soccer. That it's that important to build that size building in a limited area of commercial property that we have here. And how is that the betterment of the community? So if I was wondering, are we fulfilling the needs of a lot more sportsmen than what you're saying, like 175 is what would be?
Yeah, well, I mean, the club used to be 300.
Mhm.
We're not 300 anymore because they left.
Okay.
That's why, because of facility.
Is this use permitted anywhere in town? Like indoor athletic centers?
In,
Is it allowed
On
in?
33, isn't it
Thir-
on
yeah,
33?
Riverbend.
Is it allowed in the,
Riverside, thank you. That's another.
is it allowed in the highway commercial?
Yeah, not in highway commercial, it's allowed in the PCD zone on 33. We had, you remember the one at Force 5 at Planning Board?
Well, also, is it, Matt, where they, next to the Dunkin' Donuts, isn't that zone permits indoor recreation?
That's the PCD, yeah, yeah.
PCD zone, right?
Yeah, that permits, I remember indoor recreation.
No, but that includes a more, that actually allows for a more intense indoor recreation, because what the planning board approved had laser tag, ping pong tables, batting cages, birthday parties. It had a much more expansive range of uses there, yeah.
But
But it was-
the indoor rec use
Yeah.
was a permitted use.
In the PCD zone?
Yes.
Okay. And continues to be? It is? It
Yes,
is?
nothing's changed, yeah.
That answers my question.
What was that?
That answers my questions.
Break?
I think we're good. Maybe
Okay.
take a short, thank you, Mr. Italiano.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank you.
your feedback.
How many more people?
Planner.
Yeah, Ian, briefly, just to do operations and answer your questions, and then Christine.
We'll take a 5-10 minute break.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's the thing, we had power outages.
height, you know, if we could see what, you know.
Put the firehouse right next to it or something.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what, when we do
yeah,
line of
yeah.
sight drawings and renderings, we kind of take it from different perspectives,
Yeah.
not just from the front of the property.
Well,
So,
Steve,
that's something to consider.
Sure. Perspectives, we can do perspectives. You can add the landscape element to see how it filters the building. You can, we can identify the dimensions and the volume of the adjacent building.
And by doing that, at least it's usually fairly quick and simple, and it's not
Yeah.
overly expensive to do that.
Yeah, and I think if you, it's more of a, not, we don't wanna see it just an elevation like you see in a regular, it's something comparable, you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
I mean, the elevations are the elevations, and you
Yeah.
gotta put a couple of trees in front of it, that doesn't address what they're at least looking at.
I understand.
For me, it's not so much the aesthetics of the facility or the way it fits on the lot.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lamb, just a little louder, I'm sorry.
Yeah, for me, it's not the aesthetics of the building or the facility or the landscape or how it fits in. Yeah, how it fits into the community is very important to me, you know, but the intensity is, you know, it's overwhelming.
And in my thoughts, I'm looking at it in terms of, again, losing out on that spot of commercial property when there is another area that the building could possibly go to. Does it have to tie into Black Bear? Is that the reason why it must stay where it exactly is being requested to be built? Is it because of Black Bear of the?
Well, the proximity of Black Bear is certainly an element of it, but the fact that there's a building that is in disrepair and it's.
I'm just looking at
yeah.
what betters the community in that area would be something that I think could be more family orientated rather than it being sports. I think it's making such a limit in the community. It's not really giving a broad span to things that the families can do together, per se. So, I know that we're talking about, oh, well, you're not watching your kid play. That to me, that's not part of family to me. I'm looking at it in terms of, yeah, a restaurant, a BYOB restaurant would have been a great idea if it could be put there, or some other idea that brings family reunions together, or something like that. So, I guess I'm just not a big proponent of the sports variance being put there right now, in my theory, so that's where I'm at with it.
This is coming from a place of wanting to start fresh.
I wasn't even doing that.
I think we're good to adjourn.
Yeah.
Hold
You
on.
got to, oh,
There we go.
hold on.
All right, so, sorry about that, I have no idea how that happened. All right, this application, Mr. Pape, you've heard all the comments from the board. This application is going to be carried to March 27th, 2024 in this location. If you received certified mail before, you will not receive it again. This is your notice. This application will be next heard before the board, March 27th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. This is your notice.
Thank you very much. Good night, all.
Thank you, Mr. Bates.
Good night.
Have a great night. Okay, new old business? Nope. Adjournment? Wait, sorry, go ahead.
If there's any recommendations for the annual report to report back to the township committee, please forward them to me, and I will put them all together and get them to Grace that is for our annual report for our next meeting.
Thank you, Daniel.
You can come.
It's not just me.
You can come now.
Anybody, we're good? That's it? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Everyone in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, 9.